Hey, I hope everybody's having a good day. My name is Simon Waldai, and in this video, I'll be doing a presentation on some cybersecurity alerts and Power BI, some data analysis, and how it all connects with Microsoft Azure, Microsoft Studio 2022, and GitHub. So before we start, let me pull up my account. So this is my repository. Um, I have 3 different sources of data, and it's coming from Azure, which I pulled the data, and I created two sequences of databases, and those databases was connected logically through the servers. So I created my own servers, or virtual servers, within the Microsoft Azure platform that they allow people to learn from. So from there, I was able to let this load up for a little bit. Yeah, so I clicked. I had migrated all of my data, my database tables from Azure. From the repository in here to Azure. So let me click this. Yep. So you can see that, and then I also created a project. So from there, I was able to pull a CSV file. So if you click this, you'll see where it say export to CSV, and I preloaded everything so it wouldn't be a long presentation. So I exported the CSV file, which was this cyber alert demo, and that's how we get this data set right here. It's just a sample data set of global cybersecurity threats from like 2015 to 2024, just some free data set I was out there, but I had to create the code in repository in GitHub, and then from there pull the information, and this is all public as well. So it's over here, and here it's a demo as well. You can pull it as a zip file, and it's in here as well. So once it's pull this in as a zip file, and then unzip it, and it'll go in there, and then within that folder we're able to pull data. And you could have it connected through SQL Server, but that'll be a lot of lag time, especially on my MacBook, because I'm virtually connected to my personal virtual machine in parallel. So, but on a regular work computer, it'll be way faster to do it through here. But let me import an Excel CSV file because it'll be easier. So we go down here, and then you could just simply drag and drop, or yeah, it's in here already, so we could just import the data. And as we wait, as this loads, we're going to create slicers and a nice little presentation to review dashboards for executive presentations, or just for data analysis, and come up with findings and insight where we're able to forecast the future and see if there's any alerts or what are common alerts. And I also describe the data as well as this loads up and connects. And this should be a little quicker than if I was able to pull it from the actual GitHub versus Excel, or import it from SQL Server, because that would take a long time. Okay, we encountered error trying to. Oh, maybe because it's open already. So it's part of the troubleshooting part. Okay, so let's do this instead. I think I know why, because I have it open probably. Or let's try to do it like this instead. Let's do Excel. workbook open. And as we wait to let this data load up, the computer froze up a little bit. Let's see if the changes have been applied. Yep, they're right here on the side now. Perfect. And they're one-to-one, have a relationship, so that's why these two had to be connected. Wait till this loads up a little bit. It's rendering a lot of data. So this is good to go. So we know we see the attack description, and we have the global cybersecurity, and we have all of the columns that we're well aligned to into our slicer. So let's do table view. And let's drill down this. While this loads up. Perfect. So as you can see our data, we have country, year, attack ID, target industry, the financial loss in $1 million, number of affected users, attack source, security vulnerability type, defense mechanisms used, and incidents by hours. So these are in hours, and this is like the vulnerability that occurred to a system or tool, and this was the defense mechanism, or the I guess the after effects or the cure. So in order to resolve unpatched software, you utilize antivirus, so on and so forth, and you have different ways of patching things up, fixing things up. But let's hold on, let me ensure we have all data sets. So once we have that going on, the first thing I want to do is name our table. So the way we're going to name our table is by opening up this. Oh man, this is going so slow. Yeah, you can fast forward through this if it's taking too much time, but key is to get to this table set. But so let me go here. Just give it a second or two as it loads. Or we're going to connect. And once we connect in here from Windows.net, it'll update in the Azure environment. I can click close, X out now. Just make sure. Yep, it's there with all of its values. Let's make this a little wider. And then let's come back to let this load up. You can always fast forward as well. So we're gonna do a comparison down by down. This is the amount of data being used. So we're looking at data IO percentage, which is a physical data read in percentages. We're looking at the averages. If you want to look at the max, we were at a max at 76%, and the minimum probably was 0 or close to 0, yeah. So the average was approximately this. And we could do a line chart. We had a peak around 829, probably when we was uploading, and this is comparing it to the CPU percentage, which was around the same time. And yeah, so you could do stuff like that. You can look at logs. And this is where we're going to pull it into. And if you want to watch a Power BI tutorial, I have a video that you can click on where I talk about Power BI in different slices, but I'm just going to upload an automated one that I created. But let's run that. And I also have it in the, we're going to call it global cybersecurity threats. You can go in there and pull this CSV file. Once that CSV file is pulled, then you can use it as a query and either put in SQL and then pull it to Power BI. So you have Power Platforms and you have Power BI. Now, so it's pulling in the data set. We can create some nice queries. Some nice dashboards from the earlier videos that we made with all of these tables. So remember, we had all of these tables and we had all of those inserted columns. So let's go back here. This is what it pulled up. And then here's the raw spreadsheet, but it's loading the file and I already have it up here. So we have all of the columns of the countries. So then if you want to ask some questions to it, and this was the query part of it, and then we go right here, report view. Oh man. Yeah, so this was the data set from Excel that was imported into here. That was from my raw data set from my GitHub. But if you're a first-time user of Power BI, you can just simply do a Excel import of the data set and then play around with the different slicers and filters. So this, I just called it the site. We can call this a global cyber. I did this earlier, but I didn't want to take time and make this video long. Global cyber threats. Analytics and trends. So that one's gonna take some time. And then I remain just call this Q&A right here. So if we want to review this, we could let's review it by country. So as you can tell, the European countries tend to have more fines and financial losses, and this is in the millions. 17 million. We could look at it in a year. So let's look at 2024 data. Now I don't know how accurate this data is. It was just a data set CSV file that I came in and did some slicers, and you can do different things too. And this is a sideways bar chart. So let's open up our filters. Let this load up a little bit. And it's still loading. It's gonna close this one out because it's probably gonna be. So this came from the global cybersecurity spreadsheet. It's very simple. You can add this as an attack source, and then you have the metrics, and then you have the y-axis. You have the x-axis and y-axis. So we have the attack source and the metrics, and all of these are the individual different columns. So majority of them are bar graphs, but you can add bar graphs and line graphs. So of course, all 2024 data, as you can see. And this is the banking sector, education sector, and government and healthcare and IT sector. But if you look at it overall, we were like in total losses, we were the least to lose event to all of these other countries. Now, of course, in proportion to population, because I think India has a lot more people and a lot more. I don't know about a lot more companies, but there's a lot more people there. Same as Russia. So you got to look at GDP versus per capita per person. Some of them were groups, insiders. A lot of them were unknown. And we can also list. So now that we're in here, we can review all of this and click all. All right, so we're looking at all attack sources, attack types, and targets, and years and countries. So total financial loss by attack. These are the different types. You have man in the middle. So you have DDoS, phishing, SQL injections, and ransomware and malware. Those are the different types of attacks that occurred across the world. And these are the different countries by the millions. So that's 17 million, 16 million losses. and China had the least amount of 14 million, even though they're had the most populated, they had the least amount. So it kind of shows how secure their systems are versus the EU. But again, it can be a global